I am multitasking this morning. I'm going violet foraging. I'm getting in my 2-mile walk, and I'm filming my Friday video. It's hard getting videos made, and I'm really trying. I don't know if you guys have noticed, to post Tuesdays and Fridays, and I've been able to accomplish that for about 3 or 4 weeks now, which is the most posting I've done in years. The motivation hit. I'm trying my best, but I give myself so much grace. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, because that's not what my channel's about, and you guys know that. I'm an old school vlogger. I am not an influencer. I share my genuine passion and thoughts with you guys. My motives are always to inspire and encourage you, and I have very little in it for me, except it blesses my heart to exhort my sisters in the Lord to press on in their faith, to be loving, gracious, serving wives and mothers, and to just be real with ya. So today I wanted to chat about this absolutely horrible video I was made aware of on JP Spears' channel, as well as Matt Walsh. He made a video about it too. I don't really watch either one of their channels consistently, but on occasion one of their thumbnails will catch my eye, and because they both had the same one, I was like, let me see what this is about. And it was about a woman, a wife, apparently bashing her husband online. And so they cover the video, and I'm going to post the links to any videos I refer to in the description box so you can see it for yourself, and just know where I'm coming from if you need to put any pieces together from where I'm coming from. But basically those videos just really fell heavy on my heart. Just deep concern for the messages that young wives are receiving today from women that have been married as long as I have. And I know this is just one woman, but I am positive that this is not a new message. But apparently she has 2 videos that they highlighted. One of them, she is listing all the things that she does not do for her husband because he's a grown man and he could do it himself. And her situation's different than mine, but not different from many other women. She works full time. So I understand that there may need to be things that we, as a husband and a wife, especially if you both work full time, have to come together and be more of a team than in the house stuff, then it all land on the wife's shoulders. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. What there is something wrong with is the bitterness that she has clearly allowed to fester and grow in her heart towards her husband. When you hear her talk about him, there is no tenderness, there is no love, there is no devotion. It's just about fairness and whatever. There's like this cold, entitled attitude, and it really is evident. And it's really sad because that's what she is exemplifying and communicating to her listeners. And her listeners may relate to some of the sentiments of, I do so much. And so this, without them even realizing it, is feeding that feeling that they feel, that instead of feeding, what they need to be doing is correct their thinking. And so, yeah, every woman has felt, I need more help. Okay, now what? Now what do you do with that feeling? What do? You go online and watch this woman tell you that your husband should be doing this and that for himself, and I don't do that for him. Feeding this ugly message of serving your husband is not your job. He could do it himself. And I find it very sad, because what I want to tell women instead of that only feeds bitterness and grows resentment and this ugly, entitled, cold attitude of you against me. I want to encourage women to love their husbands. Remember that they are human too, and they have needs too, and they have hardship and stress and struggles too, and they have desires and needs too. And if you love somebody, you care about that stuff. You care. And also, when you love somebody, you want to bless them. Now, how that blessing comes out is different in every marriage. Just because I love to cook and I cook all my meals for my husband doesn't mean that's the only way to bless your husband. There are many ways to bless our spouses. It depends on you and your spouse's relationship, your personalities, the things, your life. I can't speak to it directly, like in detail, but generally speaking, if you love somebody, you want to bless that person. It's just this unloving message. She's literally teaching her listeners to not love their husbands, to be bitter, to be resentful. And she doesn't even see it. She is leading people astray and poisoning their minds. And the listeners are gobbling it up completely naively, not realizing that they are being poisoned. And they're worried so much about these feelings that they have allowed to become bitterness and resentment, that they are allowing this voice, not from the Lord, to speak into their lives. And that voice is causing a wedge in their marriage with their husband, their relationship. It breaks my heart and it worries me genuinely. This is why Scripture calls the older women to teach the younger women how to love their husbands. And we're going to have competing voices in the world, literally teaching you how to hate your husband. It's very ugly and very schemy and subtle. And I bet you she will end up divorced. I bet you she'll end up divorced. Why would she not? She's already so disdainful towards her husband. Why would she stay with him? It's poison and it's growing. So that was one of the videos. The other video was her sharing how she's married almost 20 years. Me too. I'll be married 20 years next month. April, May, 2 months from now. And in June 2025, 20 years with my wonderful, beloved Hector that I love with all my heart. And I'll cry talking about it. I love my husband. I love him. He has given me a beautiful life. He provides for me and my children. I do not take him for granted. I care about his needs, his thoughts, his feelings, everything that you naturally do when you like somebody and care about them, right? So we're just living in such a cold world, you know? It's very sad. And it's not a surprise, but it's just sad. And I am here to tell you that in 20 years of marriage, no, it doesn't have to be that way. You just cannot stop fighting the good fight. You have got to be smart enough and wise enough and in tune enough with your thought life to fight bitterness before it starts. And if you let it get away a little bit, Identify it and fight it before it grows. Do not feed bitterness and resentment. It is the guaranteed recipe for dissatisfaction, more bitterness, more resentment, conflict, and eventually, if never, ever, ever dealt with, divorce. And it's just really sad. So in the second video that they highlight, I think the main video that they're highlighting is when she's sharing how 3 years ago she considered divorce. And the reason was because her husband wasn't doing enough to help her at home. And obviously, I'm sure it's not just that. I'm sure it's festered and she's never dealt with it. Probably never talked to him, not had enough grace on him, cared a little bit too much only about herself. You don't just want to get divorced because your husband doesn't help you with chores, unless you let it grow to this monstrous level because you never deal with it or have grace. Now, the problem is when we do talk to our husbands about the help we need or the things we want, there's this lie going around that if they don't change, well, then they don't care. That is a lie from the enemy. Yes, they do care. Yes, they do care. They're just human beings like you and me. And honestly, they're not wired to see the same things we see. We are different people. We're different humans. We see things differently. Every individual you can say this about. And I mean, I've had people say that to me in my comments. Your husband's disrespecting you. Because I made a video a while ago. I don't remember what it's called. This is like in the old house. Well over 5, 6, 7 years ago. I made a video and I shared one example how I used to get flustered that my husband wouldn't put his socks in the hamper. Instead, he would leave them on the side of the bed. Because when he would go to bed, he would slip them off and just throw them on the floor next to his bed. And then next morning, he gets up and gets ready for the day and leaves. And his socks were there instead of in the hamper, where it's so easy. Just pick them up and walk to the bathroom and put them in the hamper. Okay, well, I was feeding myself this frustrating message. And I mentioned it to him a few times. I did it. I would take it to the hamper, but I mentioned it to him a few times. And then I just decided on my own. I decided I'm not a victim. I'm not disrespected. I'm not oppressed. I decided, hey, you know what? This is a lifelong habit of his. He just puts his socks on the floor because he doesn't want to sleep with socks on his feet. I'm just going to pick them up for him. What's the big deal? Nothing. I decided, instead of making this a point of contention with my spouse, I'm going to serve him in this instead. And I've never mentioned it again. Now it's a joke sometimes, you know, because the dogs get them and it's like, well, of course they're yours. You know, they're on the floor. Like it doesn't even slightly bother me anymore. But those are the things that you have control over, whether you're going to let them fester and become something or not. And it really is up to you. And it really is all a mind discipline. Taking your thoughts captive, replacing them with truth, which I talk about so much in my videos through the years. Directed primarily at young wives, hoping to help their future. But of course, we can all be helped by that reminder to not let our minds just entertain horrible things and get away from us and grow into big false narratives that feed bitterness and resentment. And this counts for any relationship, but especially our marriage, especially. So taking your thoughts captive, replacing your thoughts with what's true, lovely, noble, excellent, worthy of praise, thinking and dwelling on those things instead of all the parts, all the flaws, all the things you want to criticize and nitpick and literally pick a person apart to the point where they can do no right. They can't satisfy you. You are unsatisfiable. And I'm telling you, it is not the person, it's you. If you go down that road, it is 100% you. There are things to discuss in marriage. There are things to try to work through together. And there are things to decisively let go and bless and serve. And you need to be wiser on which those things are so that you don't destroy your marriage, because you can't just say, you know what, I'm gonna bless instead of demand. And I see this ugly message in this woman's video. She also is so obviously just unappreciative of him. It's just sad. And that's the tone, and that she doesn't have to say it into words. It's the message that's received by the listeners. So I just want to encourage you today. I have a video, I think it's called Fighting Bitterness. It's literally like 1 minute long. It was featured on Wretched Radio years ago. And I woke up to several emails from you guys saying, your video's on Wretched Radio. Of course, that's back in the day when a lot of my audience was Calvinist wives. A lot of their husbands made them unsubscribe to me, but that's okay. But, you know, Wretched Radio is a Calvinist ministry, and they all watched it just like I did. And he had featured my video, and that video is called Fighting Bitterness. And it was short. It was just me saying, look, my husband came home from lunch. I made him a big hearty smoothie, and he left the glass on the floor in the living room. I can either feed myself stupid, bitter garbage, or thank the Lord that he got to come home for lunch, that he got to have a healthy, filling lunch, and that I got to see him, and he got to sit in that rocking chair for a little while and relax in the middle of his hard work day. I could be thankful considering him before myself, because seriously, picking up the glass and taking it to the sink, is that hard for me to do and serve him? No, it isn't. And I know the bitter wife will say, well, is it that hard for him to do it? No, it isn't. But clearly he forgot. So instead of bashing him, I'm going to bless him. And that's the thing, women. We're being fed that's a lack of respect towards me, really. He's disrespecting me by leaving his cup there, really. Seriously, women. Are we that delusional? Are we that delusional? You think your husband's sitting there calculating how to disrespect you? Have a little more intelligence. Have a little more grace. Have a little more Christ-like love. Have a little bit more nurturing spirit and willingness to serve someone that you say you love. It's so hideous, and it makes women unlovable when they act that way, because it's not lovely, it's not kind, it's not sweet, it's not gentle. It's nothing that a man longs for and wants in a woman. And I know women are like, well, too bad, I'm this way, I'm that way. Well, listen, I understand. I'm a passionate woman too. I'm not a pushover. I have my opinion, my strong mind. I have all that. Guess what I use it for? For good. I use it for good. I don't use it to bash my husband and demand respect. I use it to sacrifice myself willingly, happily, lovingly, graciously for my family, because that's what I want to do with my life. And you could either choose, like I say in the video, misery, finding everything you want to complain about, everything that doesn't live up to your little hissy fit desires, or you can choose joy, and you can choose love and grace. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna go that route. Do I mess up sometimes? Yes, but I'm a big girl, and I can acknowledge it and apologize and ask for forgiveness from the Lord and correct my stupid, immature, wrong, unloving, ungracious response when I fall into that. And I'm telling you, this hard because the voices on the other side are so loud. It is extremely concerning. I have boys, my boys. When I think about a woman like that being my children's wives, my heart, I don't want a woman that's gonna tear my boys, my children, to pieces. I want a woman that's going to love them and serve them and be a teammate with them and do their part and let them do their part so that they could be an unstoppable team covering all bases willingly, not bitter, not in competition, not, demanding this and that, but love, working together, caring about each other's well-being, not just competing and fighting to be on top. I don't even understand that kind of marriage. What are we doing? We're doing this because we're a team, right? This is what I'm bringing to the table. This is what you're bringing to the table. Let's do this, baby. Let's do this. Let's raise these children. Let's build this life. Let's retire together and enjoy that honeymoon phase, but empty nester phase one day, and enjoy the fruit of our labor and see our grandchildren and all the blessings of all the hard work and sacrifice that we've built together. Not competing, but I can count on you, you can count on me. And that's the beautiful model, the beautiful design. And forgiveness, grace, actual genuine love, right? It's just so concerning. And bitterness can creep in and grow in anybody's heart. That's why we have to be wise and on guard about it. On guard. Decide to focus on the good things. Remember that there's seasons in life. And don't hear me wrong. There's nothing wrong with needing help and asking for it. Just don't act so ugly about it. Your husband loves you and cares about you. He's gonna say, of course, what do you need? And if he asks questions, why would that be wrong? Obviously, if you were at his job and you were helping him, you would ask him 1,000 questions because that's what he does all day and you don't, and your brain's not wired in that way. So if my husband's making dinner and he asks me what he should make, like this woman complains about, that's stupid that she would have an issue with it. Clearly, he needs a little feedback. But it's offensive to her that he doesn't just take the whole job and own it and do it without any help. And that's just lacking so much love. I bet they'll get divorced at some point. I bet that man is beat down and does not enjoy his life. And I bet you she is a difficult woman to live with. Proverbs 14:1 that tears down her own house. So I'll try to remember videos that I can post on topics that might touch on some of the things I've shared today of my own. I know there's one, the fighting bitterness one comes to mind, the serving your family with joy or serving your family with delight. That video, I made it years ago, but I still stand by every word I say in it. And something else that's under attack is the nurturing spirit of womanhood. There's something wrong in the way that women that are nurturing are being portrayed as oppressed. We are created this way. I care about, and our nurturing spirits come out in different practical ways. So I'm not going to say, if you're nurturing, you do X, Y, Z. But how does your nurturing, natural, by design way come out in your home? How does it come out? For me, and this is just me, you may relate in some ways and not in others, I care so much about feeding my family healthy. I care so much about my children being clean and bathed before bed and getting enough sleep and ones. But I care, and I'm sure there's more. Those things are not controlling. Those things are not weak. Those things are not, I'm preoccupied with stupid stuff, shallow stuff. No, it's the way God made me. I make traditions beautiful because I want my family to have lovely memories. I make the house lovely because I want their atmosphere to be beautiful and peaceful. I create the atmosphere with them in mind. It's not for me. And that's how my nurturing comes out. I don't do it for praise. I don't do it for myself. I do it with my whole heart for my family to be blessed and enjoy. And my husband does tons of things for us. And I am not competing, which I have another video about that, to not be in competition with your husband. I think if women just understood the little years are hard, man. They're hard. They try you in crazy ways. They try your marriage, your body, your time. It's very hard. But if you just hang on and fight for the good and don't give up the battles that are worth fighting, by the time you get to the easier, well, for me, the teen years have been a breeze so far. That's not everybody's story, but I feel like a queen now. And I remember when I was a young mom, I went to a baby shower, and this woman of 5 boys was talking, and she shared that if you do all the hard work when they're little, there will come a point where you can sit back and feel like a queen. And I was like, I'm going to take that advice. I'm going to be extremely consistent when they're little. I'm going to teach my children well. I'm going to lay down that groundwork of being hard workers, character, honor, integrity, using the Proverbs as my primary source. I'm going to be their friend. I'm going to listen to them. I'm not going to brush them off. I'm going to include them in all my work so that they feel valued and wanted. I'm going to take them out in nature so that they don't feel like technology is the only way to be entertained in life. I'm going to find like-minded families to live life with and get together with friends and say yes. For every no I say 5 yeses. I'm going to do these things, and I'm going to make my children, I'm going to communicate to them that I love them, I care about them, I care about their mind, their heart, their body, their soul. I care about their character, and I say no to the things that really, really, really are important to say no to, but everything else, let's enjoy life. Life is a gift. You're my friend. I'm your friend. I love you. You're wanted. You're needed. You're valuable. You're important. And then foster these relationships so that by the time they're teens, Lord willing, they believe all that, which that's the thing. You can't guarantee that a child will believe all of that. Thank you, Jesus. My kids seem to believe all that. They have been persuaded by me that all of that is true, and I see it reciprocated, or I see it lived out in their life. They're not rebellious. They know I'm for them. They don't feel like I'm against them. And I keep saying I, but I mean we, me and Hector. And they love us, and we have good relationships with them. We have fun with them. They are our buds. So I worked towards that, and now life is easy. Life is never easy, but it's easy. I feel like a queen. I feel like I have the most amazing willing helpers ever. We work together like such awesome team, and I have worked towards that. It didn't just happen. So moms, if you just hang in there. Yep, it's long, I know. Hang in there. Yep, it's really hard. I know. Hang in there. There will be fruit, the reward of your labor. It will come. And then marriage, the little frustration of late bedtime and dad playing too much with the littles instead of sticking to the routine, all those stupid things that bother us for some ridiculous reason. It's just so hard to be an organized person and be flexible in that way, but it's just a battle. Fight the battle. Fight the inner battle and let your husband enjoy his children. Don't be too rigid. Structure's good, but don't be too rigid that you steal the fun out of life. Don't be too rigid that law takes over and relationship suffers. You got to find balance. Balance, balance, balance. It's the key to most things. And nurture your family. Delight in serving them. Find joy in serving them. It's not a chore. It should be a delight and a joy. And it doesn't have to be elaborate and life-consuming. It can be simple little nothings. We do bedtime snacks, and it's like my favorite time because we're all in the kitchen in the dark, way after dinner, having a little snack together. And it feels so sweet and wonderful. And then we all go to bed. And it's just wonderful. It's going to be a sweet memory for my kids. It's special. And it's never elaborate. It's like toast and butter and milk, or popcorn and milk, or graham cracker with peanut butter and milk. Usually involves milk. So it's just little things that moms can do to make life wonderful. And so I hope this video blesses you, encourages you, inspires you, exhorts you. And check out the ones in the link in the description below. I'll post whatever comes to mind, and check them out. Leave your thoughts, leave your heart, your ideas, and God bless you all. See you next time.